Hey, welcome back to the Trash Talker Show. My name is Don Fish. I'm here with Derek Campbell. We're in Week 14. This is special playoffs edition, man.
Judgment Week, baby. Judgment Week.
Judgment Week playoffs edition. But first, we got to talk a little bit about last week's game. I'm just going to go right to the top, man. Guns over Killers are back in the playoffs, baby. Back in. Guns over Killers, 133-72.
That's an impressive win. That's an impressive win. That puts you back in. Now if you win, you locked up the number 2 overall seed.
I'm telling you what, man. Guns go from last place in the division to second, only a half game out. Kill the Killers, man.
Yeah.
Put it down on them.
You heard them.
Next game was Bandits over Intimidators, man. 116-113. Intimidators had a shot last week, man. Not anymore.
We heard it. Scott called it. Everybody has the best week ever. I went through that last year, Scott. I know how it is, dude. Look at Rabel dropping 116. They haven't scored 116 total in the last 3 weeks.
Not even close, man. Intimidators should have had that game. Next game was Dogs over Bombers, man. That had to hurt. You had your playoffs in your hands, man. If you win, you're going to do it.
I control my own destiny. I still control my own destiny, but I'm not as confident this
Currently,
week.
you're not even in the playoffs, but we'll talk about that a little later. AWOLs over Ass Kickers, 88-74. Ass Kickers, same way. They could have locked it up playoff spot with, last week. AWOLs beat them. Ass Kickers couldn't score 90, man.
Yep, Ass Kickers couldn't score 90, like you said. You score 90, you take the AWOLs down.
With that win, the AWOLs clinched number 1 overseas division.
Can't be stopped, can't be denied, number 1 overall seed.
AWOLs, man. Then we had the Rage over the Troop. Rage putting up some numbers now with the double tight end formation.
See, he should have done the double tight end formation last week.
103-68, man. He eliminated the Troops from playoff contention in that game.
The Troops have been eliminated forever. They've lost 7 straight
for 2 weeks. For 2 weeks, yeah. It might be 8 now. I don't know. Last game from this week was the Reign over the Hoosiers, 95-82. We don't even need to talk about this because the Hoosiers called in and left a voicemail. I'm gonna let them do the talk.
I'm gonna say it was an upset of the week, though. Honestly, I thought the Hoosiers were gonna take down Pray for Rain. I think everybody probably thought that, didn't they? But go ahead. Here we go. Here we go. Here's Milroy.
Hoosiers had the worst choke job in the history of Beer Cricket Trash Talkers League, dude. Had it all in their hands to win. 3 players on Monday night against 1, just trailing by a measly 4 points. Got their ass kicked, dude. 1 player beat the fuck out of 3 players. A running back, a receiver, and a fucking kicker. Put that on the show, bitch.
We'll get that on the show.
Clearly, man. Clearly, the Hoosiers are distraught. They're eliminated from the playoffs now, too, man. I mean,
the Hoosiers are eliminated from the playoffs. The best they can do is 7-7, but there's a lot of teams that are going to be up in that range. I mean, they are officially out.
See you, Hoosiers. Let's go over the standings real quick here. In the North, we got the Rage at 6-7, Bandits at 5-7-1, Intimidators at 4-9, the Troop at 3-9-1. In the South, we got the Reign at 7-5-1, the Guns at 7-6, Killers at 7-6, Hoosiers at 6-7. In the Central, we got the AWOLs clinched it up, man, 9-4, number 1 seed overall. Dogs 8-5, Ass Kickers 7-5-1, Bombers 7-6. We got to talk some playoffs now, man.
Let's talk playoffs. We can talk playoffs.
Talking playoffs? Don't talk playoffs. Playoffs?
Rage, if you win, you're in. If you lose, Rabel has to lose, because if Rabel wins, they're in. If you lose, Rage. And Rabel's got Coop's Troops, so you know that's almost an automatic win.
That's a gimme.
And Intimidators have to be pissed after having Rabel bust 116 on them last week. So,
yeah, North Division's easy, man. If the Rage win, they're in. If the Rage lose, they got an out. The Bandits lose, Rage are still in. But for the Bandits have to win to get in. No doubt about it.
Bandits have to win to get in.
Intimidators, not even in it anymore. No. Troops were eliminated too, so that's the North. Makes it really easy 2-horse race. Neither one of those are getting a wild card if one of them loses.
Right, exactly.
In the South, man, the South Division, it gets a little more muddled. Well, let's talk about the Central. We got the AWOLs that clinched it up, so they got the number 1 seed no matter what. Then we got 3 teams fighting for the wild card, man. You got the Dogs at 8-5, but they could lose. Then the Bombers are 7-6. You know, they could be 8-6, or the Dogs could be 8-6. Ass Kickers could be 7-8-5-1. I mean, that's anybody's game there.
The Bombers can actually go to a number 4 seed if the Dogs lose and the Bombers win, because the Bombers own the tiebreaker over Chili Dogs and will be 8-6. So they'll definitely be the number 4 seed if the Broadway Bombers can win, Dogs lose. Totally feasible.
Well,
not as confident this week.
Well, let me tell you, here's the issue, though. AWOL's posted up, said they clinched. They're resting their starters, man. Get all the starters on the bench, man. It looks like the Dogs are going to have an easy
Their
win,
starters look like they're bench players. That's why the AWOLs have been struggling late. They won this league. They won this division by default. They got off to that big, quick start.
Yep.
You know,
Nobody can score 90 on
all.
Then you got the game really is the Bombers and the Ass Kickers, man. Whoever wins is definitely going to the playoffs. Whoever loses is probably knocked out, man. So that's the game. That's the game of the week. We're not going to do pick'em. That's a damn game.
I think the Bombers, if they lose, are out because there's too much that has to go on between Pray for Rain, Don's Guns, and Killers. I mean,
that half a game for the Ass Kickers.
Broadway Bombers will be out if they lose, and that because Pray for Rain, even if they lose, they'll be 7-6-1. The Bombers are 7-6. That means if you win, you're 8-6.
Yeah.
They've got that over. You know,
let's run down the South. Let's look at the South. Then you got the Rain at 7-5-1. That's a half a game up on the Guns and Killers. Guns own the tiebreaker over the Killers. The Guns play the Rain this week. So if the Guns win, they're in. If the Rain win, they're in. So I mean, those are the only two teams that can lock it up. And then you got wild card races. The Hoosiers are out. So let's just cross them off the map.
Yeah.
And then so it's the Rain and Guns. Whoever wins that is definitely in. And then you got the Killers that are just hanging on there by a thread. They need to win this week to get in.
Honestly, if the Killers win, they will be in.
You think they're going to be in?
Yeah. Well,
they'll be 8-6.
Yeah, they'll be 8-6, and they own. And the Dogs have to lose, or if the Ass Kickers lose. I mean, they're pretty much. They look pretty good as a wild card if they win at 8-6.
Too many things can go on here with the wild cards, but what you're looking at, before we thought the Central, who still looked like the strongest division, doesn't look like everybody's getting in anymore. Might not even get two of their people in. Well, they'll have two, but the other two might go to the South now. They have 2 and 2, and then whoever AWOL is going to be playing whoever's out of the North, I think.
Well, I'll tell you this: the Broadway Bombers and the Ass Kickers and the Chili Dogs own 3 out of 4 teams on the tiebreakers in the South. So it's going to depend on who. Gets that maybe whoever's going up gets the wild card on that.
I'm hoping you got the same record as me because I got that tiebreaker.
That's the only tiebreaker I don't have against. So I mean, I can have the Killers go in or Pray for Rain, but that half game for Pray for Rain, that tie really that kind of squabashed my chances.
It's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be an interesting playoff week, man. We got a little bit of time here. You got something you want to get off your chest? You want to do a couple pick-ems or what, man?
Let's do a couple pick-ems.
Run down some pick-ems.
Ass Kickers or Broadway Bombers? Who you got?
Man, got to take the Ass Kickers, man. They just got too good of a roster, man. Too good of a history.
Broadway Bombers are favored by 1 point, but I'm not very confident this game.
This is the game of the week. This is going to be
the problem is when I'm overconfident, I lose. My team don't show up. When I'm more humble, my team wins. I'm going to be humble this week.
What's going for you, man? I saw that she put in Romo as a quarterback, took Favre out after that disappointing performance he had last week, and Turner's still out for it, it looks like. Turner's probably not going to play. So
Reggie Wayne's got a bad foot.
Reggie Wayne, they got him predicted as 0, man. Yeah, he's got a bad foot.
Rage at Intimidators.
I got Intimidators being the spoiler for this game.
I got 5 points on Intimidators. Killers at Hoosiers. Killers at Hoosiers.
Hoosiers, man. I'm taking them as the spoiler again.
Put 2 on the Hoosiers as spoiler. Rabel at Coops Troops.
Troops, spoilers.
Troops, I'm laying 6 on the Rabel, baby. Pray for Rain at Don's Guns. This is going to lock up. This is going to lock up number 2 seed right here.
That's it, man.
Pray for Rain at Don's Guns. I got to go with the Guns. Chili Dogs at AWOLs.
And I don't even know. I'm picking the Chili Dogs, man.
AWOLs
are wrestling their guy.
I'm going with AWOLs. I'm with the Chili Dogs to lose. I can beat the Bombers. All of a sudden, I'm the number 4 seed.
We'll see, man. We'll see how it all wraps up, man. Whatever happens, it's going to be an interesting next week. What I want to tell everybody is keep playing this week, man. Everybody's doing it. You're playing for draft position. The higher record you get, the higher draft pick you get for next year. And you can knock people out of the playoffs. So keep playing. Keep it going. For Derek Campbell, for Don Fish. See you losers next week. Out.
Trash Talkers Fantasy Football League, bringing friends and family together. Friendly competition, friendly trash talking, and friendly postings of obscene and inappropriate pictures of your friends passed out in the alleyways of foreign countries. What league are you in?